Hey everyone, it is Brittany with Scribbles by Brittany, and I'm bringing you another speed paint drawing. And in this one, I'm going to outline most of the drawing in colored pencil. I like the way that the colored pencil tends to bring out the artwork when it is one of these types of drawings. And right now, I'm kind of like talking to the camera at the same time, trying to figure out my colors. I brought out my Copic marker chart just so that way I can kind of get an idea of. I already knew what kind of colors I wanted for it, but I wanted to choose the right ones and make the right decision based on design aspects. So I had went in and started going with the darker marker and just kind of laying in those shades, the shaded area of the artwork. And you usually do that. I usually do that first. Someone else might do it differently. I know when working with markers, it's always easier to shade first and then move lighter. I think watercolors does the same technique. Uh, and then it also allows for mixing or creating the right values that you want when you are adding in um, other marker or like other inks. I wanted to bring you this video not as like a video to be bitching about people, but over the years I've had people ask for drawings and then they shy away from the deposit or they shy away from even having to pay for it. And the couple of people that I've had that I've made artwork for and they have paid that deposit, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys know who you are. If you are watching this, I had a coworker ask me, and she had she had definitely was I think she was surprised of the artwork that I was able to make for her. And then there was a family friend of mine that had asked me for artwork, and he actually wanted, I think, to give me more than the deposit that I asked him to pay for. And I told him not to worry about it because that's all I needed. Like, it was just a simple drawing for me. I had no business asking for more than what I thought it was worth. Okay, so one of the things that I've wanted to talk to people about is the fact that it is a pet peeve for artists if you ask them to draw you something and you demand it for free, or if you decide, oh, I'm not going to pay them, or if you suggest other favors. And you guys cannot see me, but I am doing air quotes for that. And it's absolutely mind-boggling that people would sit there and ask for other favors when it comes to stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to my tattoo artist and asking him to tattoo me for favors. Um, and I'm not sure what YouTube is like based on this whole topic. Other favors being sexual in nature. When somebody says that, it's completely inappropriate. And honestly, I will tell you to F off. Um, I've had I've had so many people ask me for artwork and then be like, "Oh, I'll pay you later." And then it's like, "Okay, well, my light bill still needs to be turned on, or my light bill not really turned on, but it still needs to be kept on, and you're withholding my light bill money, or you're withholding something from me and I can't live my life." Um And again, I do thank you for the people who have supported me with my artwork and that continue to support me. I appreciate it so much. You guys are some serious MVPs. But I have I have gotten like one of the messages that I've gotten is like, "Oh, I will totally pay you when I get paid at the end of the week if you draw it." Well, okay. And then I simply just say, "Okay, I require a $25 deposit." "Oh, well, I won't be able to afford it until I get paid." "Then I'm not gonna do anything for you until I get the deposit." "Fine, I will find someone else to do it." "Okay, then why did you come to me from the beginning? If you knew that you could not afford it, just because we're friends or just because you know me, if you knew you couldn't afford even just the $25 deposit, then why did you come for me unless you were expecting a freaking handout?" And that absolutely irritates me because you are literally paying for somebody's time, work, and materials. You're paying for the time that it takes for me to for the drawing. You're paying for my the materials that I use to make the drawing. And this is just one conversation of many that I've encountered since posting my artwork to social media. And I've even had friends ask me with sending a message that are like this. And yeah, I'm not gonna put the friend's name associated. They know who they are. And the reason why I haven't done their drawings are literally because of that. You don't have a deposit, you don't have money. It's not gonna get done until I see money first. Money first, and then we'll talk later. But it's one of the things that it absolutely drives me crazy. And I actually had noticed on one of the tattoo shops down in Pigeon Forge, my there I follow them because I like their business model. It's very nice. They're really great people, and it's there was somebody who had commented, like, had wrote a review, and that one bad review, I mean, everybody sees that, and the person that wrote the review didn't even take accountability by paying the deposit, by following up with the artist, and, you know, the artists aren't gonna chase down their clients. The artists are gonna take your deposit, and if you don't want the tattoo or the artwork at the end of the day, well, then that's not their problem. You paid the deposit. They're taking the deposit. That's what some people have to realize, that we still need to get paid for what we put into our what we put into it. And that's the thing, like, I did not spend hours on a sketch and taking the tools that I have to spend time on a piece of artwork for someone to not give me compensation. And those people who are doing that are the same people who will say, "Oh, I know someone who can do it cheaper." Those people who are doing it cheaper probably aren't the best person to go to for the job. That's why you went to the original person first. Am I right? Like, come on. I didn't want to make this video completely about how angry I am. I wanted to express, as I do with other artists, the same way, because this has been a or not really a habit we've incurred, but this has been a point of contention with people who are not artists, and then they go around thinking that they can do something or get something done cheaper. Well, then you could go ahead and pay for that cheap artwork that you find at Target that is mass printed, when you could have something so much more meaningful to somebody if if you were to purchase it from them and hang it up on your wall. I I have a couple of pieces of artwork, and it wasn't purchased necessarily um through, like, how should I say, like, I didn't purchase it through the artist itself. I actually purchased it through the sketch boxes that you see in my previous videos, and I've liked the artwork, and then I put the artwork in a frame and I hang it on my wall. And that's because I like the artwork. And yes, I did pay for it. I'm pretty sure that those artists had got commissioned to do that artwork, and then they mass printed, I think it's like 5 by 8s. I don't know. I think it's a standard picture frame, or like not the standard picture frame, but like the small ones. But it's still the fact that an artist still got paid for that, and I'm sure it means a lot to them to know that their artwork is actually sitting in my living room on the wall. I can't begin to tell you which artist made what. Like, I have a llama print, which I freaking adore. It's so freaking cute. And then I have I believe it's either a crow or a raven, and it has like a little bird nest around it. I can't remember what month that was for, but either way, I absolutely enjoyed it. To the point where I put it up on my wall and I enjoy looking at it. been doing a lot of rambling here, and that is because this topic kind of gets me fired up. But what I want to do is talk to you guys a little bit about the artwork itself. I came up with this idea actually back in 2020. I'm kind of like unsure about the um, actual year because I know I had it in a sketchbook and I think it was 2020. Uh, but the concept, I wanted it to feel like, um, you know that song "Love Is a Battlefield." That was kind of what I wanted it to kind of emulate, but I also wanted the yellow roses because I think if I remember right, the yellow rose represents military. I could be wrong. Oh, it might be poppy. It might be a poppy and a yellow rose. I've heard of both, but correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. I know poppy is one of them, but um, I've noticed like people will hang. Oh wait, no, it's yellow bows. Never mind. I am rambling right now because I can never remember. I can't ever remember anything. But as I digress, I wanted this to kind of have like this love is a battlefield, and I wanted that morphism between the heart and the grenade. And I'm actually probably going to start moving into working on the heart here soon. And I wanted it to be an anatomical heart. I felt like that kind of went with the actual grenade, obviously, or like the flow of it. And I was actually really happy with how this turned out. Uh, and I'm really impressed with the roses. I I wanted them to be a little lighter, but honestly, with them being so dark, it adds a different dimension to the piece of artwork than like what I was intending. Because if it was any lighter, I feel like it probably would have taken away from what I wanted it to be. adding to this, it is it is like going to or getting an elect an electrician to come do electrical work on your house without paying them. Typically, they'll bill you, and if you don't pay, they don't recommend your business to other electricians. And I've heard of that happening, but more on the mechanic. Like if you have a mechanic that does a lot of your work and then you don't pay them, they'll be like, they'll talk to other mechanics and be like, "Hey, don't accept this work from them. They're kind of bad about paying people or paying you for your services rendered." And let's put it this way, if you screw over one person, what makes you think you wouldn't do it again in some way or another? But I'll be honest, I know electricians are expensive, and I have absolutely no knowledge with electrical work, so I'm going to outsource it by going to somebody who knows what they're doing before I get my butt electrocuted. And I don't look good with fried hair. My hair is already dry as it is. I don't need it fried completely off. It's not fun. So, I'm not trying to sound like a complainer, but you gotta pay for the time that people put into their artwork. You gotta pay for that little bit of something that you don't have that somebody else can complete. You gotta give your money where it's due. Like, don't leave your artist hanging. Don't leave your tattoo artist hanging. It's inappropriate, and they will recommend that not to do business with you. It's that simple. And then you probably won't get anything done that you want to get done. I've had people come up to me and ask me for things that are free because they are my friend or whichever. There have been times where, yes, there are things that I feel like do mean a lot to people and I have drawn for them, but after that, they start expecting things for free, and it's like, I'm not that kind in giving my services for free. You don't go to a prostitute and ask her for sex because she'll just rob you blind. I've heard it done. Like, she'll beat you up and rob you blind. Um, and then good luck with that. Because, they be like vicious. And I do know, like, there's one person that, um, I've seen people like accumulate skills. One of the persons, Andrew Rosa from Rooster Teeth, during COVID had taken the time and learned to paint a really good mallard duck. Like, this was like photorealistic mallard duck. It was absolutely beautiful. And he just had taken the time, the tools, and the concepts to learn how to paint, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely beautiful. But it's one of those things that it's not a God given talent that you just stumble upon one day as a kid. It really takes learning the concepts like shading in the right area or color coordination, shapes. A lot of the stuff is done by shapes. Starting out with the roses, for example, in this particular drawing, starting out with the roses, that was a circle. It started off as a circle. And you know what you do? You fill it in. You fill it in with random squiggles. And then it kind of turns into a flower based on your brain. Like how is your brain interpreting that picture and how do you want it to be interpreted? The grenade? I used a reference for the grenade. I mean, that's just how it is. I used a reference photo. Why? Because in my brain, I could not physically handle the way that the shapes were. My brain could not comprehend that. So I used a reference photo. It's, and then I've been drawing anatomical hearts since I was like in the fifth grade. I don't know why. I'm obsessed with the anatomical heart. Love the way it looks. I'm just morbid that way. I can't help it. Like, it just happens. But I remember drawing one for a project that I did in the fifth grade, and I had a teacher who legitimately said that was the best anatomical heart he's ever seen drawn by somebody. And I actually had used a reference photo out of a science book. It goes to it goes back to that method of taking that time to look at a photo and to try and just replicate it. But I remember drawing that in the fifth grade, and the teacher thought it was really freaking good. And after that, I kind of started drawing a little bit more, and then I lost touch with it. And so when I had picked up a pencil to redraw an anatomical heart, I kind of froze because in my brain, I could not fully remember um, how to draw it for some reason. But then I had started with a basic heart shape, even though the anatomical heart is not actually heart shaped. And then I had added stuff in, taken stuff out or erased it, and just kind of played with the concept until I felt like it was the way I wanted it to be perceived. And that is one of those things where you got to take the time, the effort, and the tools to see that you're not just paying for a God given talent. I mean, and I'm gonna probably preach this until I'm blue in the face, but you're paying for somebody's skill, just like you would an electrician, just like you would a plumber, and just like you would pay for anybody else who doesn't have the same skill set as you. And there's always room to learn. If you have sticking with me throughout this video, you've probably learned what my pet peeve was. Actually, probably my major pet peeve, besides like entering my bubble when you're not welcome. That's, yeah, that's another pet peeve that I've talked about in the previous video. But I want to pass on this information to you so that way you guys know that if you're an artist, you're not alone in this, and that if you want to pay for cheap artwork, then go for it. You get what you pay into it. The other thing was to pay your electrician's bill, tip your waitress, and if and to thank you for your support and to remember to create more and worry less. This video has been long and very tedious, and I hope that you guys are having an awesome year, and I hope that you guys are working towards your goals. And flashback to the previous video. Right now my dog is throwing hints at probably needing to go outside, so I'm going to try and wrap up this video real quick and say thank you guys for everything that you guys given me, everything that I'm able to do. I appreciate it, and follow me along on the next video. Not sure what it's gonna be, but I'll end up figuring it out probably here soon. So thanks, guys. But I'm popping in here to tell you to like, subscribe, and comment below what your pet peeve is. I want to read y'all's pet peeves. And your pet peeve right now is probably me rambling, and that's just my brain just spewing word vomit all out at once. No, I don't necessarily like to listen to myself talk, but if you guys listening to me talk, I guess it's a bonus for you, right? Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful time, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for supporting me. I appreciate everything, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.